Dear colleagues, it's a pleasure to be with you this afternoon to discuss an online tool which we are developing to assess the needs of informal dementia caregivers, I will call them IDCs, and refer these persons to the relevant support services. As we heard in the previous presentation, in practice, support providers use many diverse ways, homemade instruments, non-systematic procedures to assess the many and diverse needs of IDCs, which is not optimal. And we also conducted a systematic review before starting the project, which showed us that most of the existing questionnaires are poorly validated, and the best validated one covers only a limited numbers of areas of needs, focusing on the knowledge and the management of dementia, and not so much on the social or psychological needs of informal caregivers, for example. So we have two questions now: how to assess the many and diverse needs of IDCs, and accordingly, how can we refer them to the relevant support services? To answer these, we conducted a first online survey with service providers to assess the relevance of 46 items derived from the questionnaires with an excellent content validity identified in our review. And we also asked for each item, each need, which support services answered it, covered it optimally. We then conducted a second online survey with IDCs to assess the relevance and the clarity of 35 items. Who answered our surveys? 42 support providers with very diverse profiles in terms of profession, in terms of number of years of activity in their profession, and of number of IDCs met per year. We also had answers from 28 IDCs, which had, again, a large diversity of profiles in terms of age, of the type of relationship with the person with dementia, of their level of education, as well as in the intensity or the duration of their involvement in the caregiving role. Let's come to the results, which showed that in terms of items relevance, it was excellent, with more than 3/4 of the providers and of the IDCs finding the items relevance on average. And the items were also very easy to understand for the IDCs, and they were judged to cover well the needs from the perspective of the providers as well as of IDCs. The only negative comment was to reduce the number of items coming from providers. In terms of referral now, we could also note that for each specific need, on average, about half of the providers use this information to refer the IDC to some other provider, while only 13% said they had a support service answering optimally this need, corresponding to 5 support options, and an additional 14%, 6 support options on average, said they cover partly the need only. So this shows that the support services differ from need to need in terms of optimal answer, and that the system is really complex and that IDCs need to knock on a lot of doors because before they are able to cover their many different needs. In conclusion, we have now a questionnaire with an optimal content validity thanks to a strong approach, and we embed it in a platform which allows us to facilitate the orientation within a very complex network, which empowers the IDCs to become aware of their needs and to identify easily the support options which are relevant to answer these needs. And having this online platform also reduces the provider's burden and helps us keep their precious human skills for more specific tasks. Thank you very much for your attention, and have a nice afternoon.